Most leaders try to control their triggers and look strong on the outside. I used to do the same. I used to control my triggers. But here's the truth nobody ever says out loud. Your triggers are not your weakness, they are actually the doorway to your strongest leadership. And until you walk through that doorway, you are only using half of your leadership potential. Let me tell you a story from my own life. So, a few years ago, when I was running my IT startup, I used to get triggered so fast. One late update, one small mistake, even someone criticizing me, I get triggered. I always try to control every small detail, every small outcome. And when things didn't go my way, the way I thought they should go, it made me panic. My chest would tighten, my thoughts would start racing. So, on the outside, I always looked calm and in control, but inside, I was falling apart. I kept telling myself, be more strong, be more perfect, control everything. And I pushed myself harder. I tried to control everything harder. But truth was that my triggers were not about the situation. They were about me. They were showing me my emotional wounds which I never healed. And once I started seeing that and understanding that, everything changed. So most leaders think triggers mean we are weak or we are not disciplined enough. But honestly, most of us never taught how to feel safe with our emotions, how to feel safe inside. We are taught things like be strong, don't take it personally, don't react, stay in control. So instead of understanding our emotions, we learn to hide them. We learn to express our emotions. And when we step into leadership, we end up leading with our nervous system. We are always alert. We are always tensed. We are always scanning for problems. We confuse reactivity with responsibility. We confuse stress with leadership. And we confuse defensiveness with authority. But triggers are not the enemy. They are the alarms saying, hey, something inside you needs attention. Think about this. Why does a missed deadline make one person angry while another barely reacts? Why does a small question feel like criticism to someone while other remains calm? Why does delegating so scary for someone while other delegate without thinking? Why does silence make someone tense while someone enjoys it? So it is not about the situation, it is about the old story your body is still holding. So most high level leaders get triggered by fear of losing control. They want to control everything, every outcome, every detail. They are triggered by fear of being judged. They are they are feared by. So, most high level leaders get triggered by fear of losing control. They want to control every small outcome, every small detail. They are triggered by fear of being judged, fear of being misunderstood. They want to look perfect. They have childhood patterns like they are fixer or a good kid or a peacemaker. And they are triggered because they have old self worth wounds. And these triggers show up every day in their leadership when they small they snap at small mistakes, they micromanage everything, they over-explain their actions, they overwork to prove their worth, they double check every small detail. So this is not bad leadership. In reality, this is unhealed leadership, and unhealed leadership always leads to burnout. So here is the big lie leaders believe. Most leaders believe that if I work harder, get more disciplined, become more perfect, I will stop getting triggered. But it is not true. It actually works in opposite direction because pressure doesn't heal anything. Perfection doesn't heal anything. You can control everything around you, but you still not feel safe inside. And you try to control everything because you don't feel safe inside. You overwork, you work so hard, you overperform, but still you not feel worthy. Instead, you are overworking only because you are not feeling worthy and you're getting to earn that worth through your work. So, triggers don't go away when you ignore them, when you suppress them. Instead, they just go deeper and deeper and they started to control your behavior, your everyday action, your leadership, and your life. And you start you become a burnout person, you lose clarity, and you get disconnected from yourself, your inner self, people around you, and your team. So, here is a real truth: you are triggered don't mean that you are broken, they mean a part of you is ready to grow. Triggers are a doorway that shows you where you feel unsafe, where your boundaries were crossed, where your body still expects danger, where younger you still need support, where you are leading from fear instead of alignment. And once you notice and heal these triggers, your whole leadership identity shifts. This is where my different mechanisms like clarity anchor, core connect, potential flow actually come alive. Not as ideas, but as lived experience. This is not therapy. This is leadership evolution. Think of a trigger like a fire alarm. When an alarm buzzes, you don't get mad at it. You check for the fire. But as leaders, we do the opposite. We silence the alarm. We blame the team. We distract ourselves. We pretend everything is fine. Meanwhile, the fire inside keeps burning. When a trigger hits inside you, you pause for a moment. You notice what is really happening. You calm your body. You choose a better response and slowly teach your mind a new pattern. Just like stopping yourself when you feel a sudden rush of anger, taking a deep breath, and answering gently instead of reacting fast. I know this works because I have lived it. So, few years ago, when I told that every tiny trigger felt huge inside me, and outside I looked fine, but inside my body was bracing for danger that was not even real. So it took me years to understand that the trigger was not about the situation. It was about the part of me that only felt safe when everything was under my control and when things were going my way. But once I learned to calm that part, once I learned to feel safe in uncertainty, when I learned to trust the flow of life, my leadership changed fast. My life changed. My decisions, my reactions, my presence, everything changed. Trigger healing didn't just make me a calmer person, it made me a stronger and clear leader. So imagine this being your normal. A trigger shows up, and instead of spiraling, you stay steady. Your voice stays soft, not sharp. Your chest stay open, not tightened. Your decisions stay clear. Your team feels safe. You feel safe. Your presence become grounding. Stressful moments turn into leadership. You lead from clarity, not fear. You lead from inner strength, not reactivity, from wholeness, not performance. This is the leader people follow. This is the leader people remember. And this is the leader you were always meant to be. So if you want to do one thing, do this today. Just notice one trigger. Maybe someone on your team sends you a message that sounds a bit sharp and your chest just tightened for a second because you feel like you are losing control. Then ask yourself, what part of me is this trying to protect? Maybe it is the part of you that hates being misunderstood. Maybe it is a part of you that grew up needing to be perfect. Maybe this part feels unseen when things slip out of control. That one question starts the healing, and healing is the beginning of rooted leadership. If you want me to guide you through this step by step, send me the word trigger, because healing your triggers doesn't just make you a calmer person, it makes you unstoppable.